Hi, Julie Torrance here. So, mixed media. Get whatever you have. I've got a couple of cereal boxes that I just cut down, and I cut them to 7 by 11 just because that was the handiest. Got myself my basics gesso from Liquitex, and since I'm doing gesso, of course, I'm going to do more than one. I'm going to wet my brush. I've got 2 water sources. And the reason why I wet my brush is the gesso will just sink deep, deep into the brush. And that's not helping me. So I want to get this gesso on the paper or the cardboard, not deep in my brush that I'm going to wash out later. Okay, now I have professional as well as basics. I like to keep both on hand from Liquitex. I like them both, but the professional leaves you with a beautiful satiny finish, and the basics is a little bit more transparent, and it also leaves a little bit of a tooth, and I just wanted that for this project. So I am not a representative for Liquitex, but I've used a lot of different gessos, and I really prefer it. Now, we're only going to be working on one of these, but once you get your gesso out, use it. You know what I mean? Get more than one something or another ready to go. I forgot a light. Sorry. Here we go. Better? I hope you're doing well. I hope that things are going good, and I hope you've got some kind of art on your desk. I am feeling better, much better, and maybe the medicine that the doctor put me on 12 weeks ago is starting to work, which this medicine does take that long. Okay, I'm not worried about brush strokes. I'm taking this brush, getting as much Liquitex off of it, throwing it in the water, and I'm just going to set this one aside. So, I've been missing doing art journaling, and yet I know a lot of you maybe don't have a designated art journal. I'm just rinsing this brush out. I have 2 sources of water, and I've got a lot of mixed media stuff because we are going to mix it up. All right, I'm just drying this brush off a little bit, but I am going to keep using it. I've got some gel matte medium. This is from Golden. Would I recommend it? Sure. But I'm not enjoying having this big wide mouth, because when you're working, the longer it's open, and I haven't used this for a while, the longer it's open, the more it wants to dry out. So I have a tube of I have a tube of gel medium to replace the jar when it's gone. Grabbing a baby wipe, and I want to do a mixed media design that I could put this in my art journal when it's done. The size would be fine. I want it in greens and yellows and maybe a touch of blue. So I've got those colors out here. I've also just got some tan, and I think I'm going to start out with some tan just here at the bottom. Use what you have. Don't fret if you don't have exactly what I have. Now, is this going to go all the way across? No, I can tell already it's not. Is that going to bother me? Nope. All right, I've got a little tan here at the bottom. I'm going to get some yellow and put it up here. I'm not going to change this out, but I'm going to just turn it around and get myself some yellow up here. Nice. Now, if it lifts up because I didn't obviously let this dry. If it's lifting up some of the gesso, that's fine. I didn't use the gesso because I was afraid the paint wouldn't stick. I just wanted to lighten things up a little bit. All right, I'm just grabbing a green. And I'm going to put green. Use your favorite colors. You don't have to use my colors. Use your favorite colors. And I'm just swirling this on. Now these Diane Reevely paints do tend to dry pretty quick. So I don't know what Ranger or she or the chemists did, but I do like it for that reason. Okay, I've got a little bit of a different green, and I'm going to put some of that up here. I just wanted shades, you know. I didn't want to necessarily look at it and say, oh yeah, green or whatever, but I guess kind of cool, in the cool tones. Yellow can go either way. It can be warm or cool. I've got just a little bit of paint, and I'm gonna just put it down here. How we doing? Looking good? I think so. Okay, I'm throwing that away. Now, I have some book page. I'm going to set my gesso aside here. And I'm going to use some book page. I just pulled some dictionary page out. And I just want some words. And I'm not necessarily doing this like a masterboard collage kind of thing. So I'm not concerned about, I want a real straight edge here or there. I just want some words on the paper. It's going to be what? Texture and interest. Something that you can look deep. I like that little flower. Or I guess it's kind of like a piece of greenery. Will it show up when I'm done? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's enough. All right, I'm grabbing the gel medium. And again, now gel medium is pretty much acrylic paint with no pigment in it. So I'm just putting acrylic on top of acrylic. And there we go. And I'm going to put some of that right on top. Most of the time, paper really is not thin enough, unless it's like maybe tissue paper, and not even all tissue papers. I don't know, onion skin maybe, but most papers really are not thin enough that you only have to put gel medium on top. I was going to say I wouldn't mind if that was a little straighter, that the words are at a little bit of an angle, but you know what? I don't care. We are not fussing. So normally I would have done this kind of a project in one of my art journals, and I've got art journals I bought, art journals I've made, art journals that are altered books. But I know a lot of people don't have them. And I want you to use what you have. I want you to not have roadblocks that are telling you, no, you can't do it because you don't have. No, I don't do that to yourself. Okay. Now, I didn't put, I'm looking at where I've got gel medium and where I don't. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a dry. Okay. Pretty much dry. I am not looking for bone dry. If you want acrylic to be bone dry, then you're going to need to wait overnight, really. I've got a stencil. I don't know the name of it. It's from PM Artist Studio. And I want to let's grab some of the tan. Shake it up a little bit. And I'm going to grab a fresh baby wipe. Yeah, so I'm not gonna, I may put this in a journal. I can just, tip it in with some tape and stuff. but I've got a place that I hang things, and maybe you're like me. I'm going to put this right on my baby wipe. This tan color. Okay. And I'm just going to work through the stencil. It is not perfect, not designed to be. The stencil's fine, but the technique I'm doing, just gonna add some color and some texture in some different places. If you don't have a stencil, grab an orange bag. If you don't have a stencil or an orange bag or an onion bag or something like that, just find something, maybe a old piece of lace or just something that has holes that you can just push some paint through. Maybe a paper doily. Okay, good. Yep, I like that texture. Nice. And then I'm gonna try to save this one. May want to use it again. I think I've got a rubber stamp, and this rubber stamp is larger than any of my acrylic blocks, so I just use my ruler here, my acrylic ruler, and I've got some sepia, archival, and I'm not looking for a perfect image, just some noise in the background. And let's see, how about this way? Give it a good push. It's there. I'm not standing up, so I'm not, getting a lot of pressure. I'm just going to take my paper towel, give it a wipe in case some acrylic paint got on it, because I'd rather not have acrylic paint on my block here of ink. Okay, can we do her again? I think we can. Good. Oop, did I bump you? I hope I didn't. Okay. Give it a rub. And one more time. Now, if you don't have a rubber stamp, get something else for mark making. A jar lid. The bottom of a glass. Lots of things. Lots of ways. And we'll put this right up here. Good. Good. You can see I'm pulling stuff up. I'm going to take that baby wipe, find a non-acrylic spot, and give it a wipe again. I'm just getting anything that I can see that doesn't belong on there. And even if I don't get it completely off, next time, well, when I'm done and I take it to the sink, I'll be able to get it clean. Okay. Good enough. All right. Yes, I am liking this just fine. Okay. What next? Well, I would like to put, I want to put kind of a versy thing in here, but I want to knock this back a little bit. How am I going to do that? Little more paint. I'm deciding. I know. Let's use some of these gelatos. And I'm just going to add some of the gelato on here, because I'd like some more color. Gelatos are just a water-soluble crayon. I haven't used gelatos in probably years, but it's time, isn't it? Yes, I'm liking this. I even got some places that the cardboard is kind of lifting. I don't care. That's okay. It just gives it that old look. All right. And I'm going to grab a bright yellow. Very transparent. The collection of gelatos that I have is a bright version. So all of the colors I have are transparent, but I don't know that all gelatos are that way. Get out what you have. Look, I've got my Stabilos, my Stabilo Woodies. I'm going to put some of that on here. Now they don't tend to smudge as easily. That's okay. Where there was some gel medium, it does smear more there than where it's just gesso and acrylic paint. All right, good. A little bit more. Nice. Okay. I'm just looking at the tip. I don't know why. I'm just gonna give my finger a rub. Now I'm gonna take my gel medium and I'm gonna give the whole thing now a coat. Ooh. So I have hanging in my apartment with those command hooks. They're not supposed to damage your walls. And then stretched between those, I've got a scarf, a little scarf. And then I've got those little wooden clothespins. They're tiny. And I just hang up my art along there, like clothes on a clothesline, and change it out when I want, but I know I'm not hurting the walls. And something like this, I could easily hang up there. I probably will, because I just like that. So I'm giving myself the sign, the okay sign. That's for when I edit, and you should have seen a picture of my little hanging area that I have. Yeah. So you can kind of get an idea of what I mean when I say I'm going to hang it up. I don't like to put a lot of holes in my walls, and I don't have a bulletin board, so yep, that works good. Okay. All right, I'm going to give this a chance to dry. So, be back. Okay, we've dried some. I'm going to add some blue. Same kind of Diane Reevely paint. And I am going to brush it. And I want, because now I'm thinking about where I want to put my focal points and where I want to put my embellishments. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this blue, kind of where I think it's going to be. Now this is still a very transparent paint. We are not losing any background. And I think I'll run this right over here to the edge. Even if it's like a a little bit dry brushy. That's okay. Okay, more dry. Okay, it's dried a bit, just air drying, and it's still damp, but that's okay. I've got some of my flowers, and you can get these at PM Artist Studio. They've licensed my watercolor ephemera, and I'm just kind of, what would you say, auditioning them. Got some leaves. Yeah, I get the idea. Let's put these down. And again, I'm just going to use gel medium. I'm going to put a couple of the leaves on. Yes, I made some floral fuzzy cuts that are from my watercolor designs, and they haven't been manipulated by AI or a computer or anything, just painted, scanned, go. But then you can have some of my flowers too. Okay, I think I have 2 purple, yeah. I might have put the leaves a little too close together. That's all right. Don't sweat the small stuff. It could be an entirely new design. It doesn't matter. I think it'll be fine. I've got more leaves if I need to tuck some in. Yeah. Go bold. That's what I say. Nice. Another leaf? Why not? All right. Should I stick one up there? Let's do it. I got a yellow one. Let's put a yellow one up there. And a leaf. I have missed doing this kind of work. I really have. I will leave the links to the PM Artist Studio stencil that I used and to my artwork. Okay, more dry time. And we are dry. It's been 2 days. You don't need to let this wait for 2 days. I just did because after 1 day, which I did want it overnight, because we put a lot of layers on this. I'm grabbing a Sharpie. I wanted it to get dry. Now I'm going to grab a piece of just scratch paper here. And one of the things I like to do after I put ephemera on like this is outline it, because I feel like it just helps to put the pieces that I am setting on top, and they turn into a part. instead of just looking like they were slapped on top. I like that look better. And the Sharpie on top of the, I want to say mixed media, no, gel matte medium works just fine. I have found Sharpie works fine if it's a gloss medium. Works just fine. But I do really feel like this helps just kind of marry your ephemera or your embellishments into the piece. I knew I was going to be working close to the edge. That's why I wanted to have that. And I am going to go around. Now, the Sharpie takes just a minute more to dry. It will dry and it will dry completely, but it does take a little bit more to dry on top of that plastic. Okay, I think I'm going to do this. There. All right, I'm going to do the same on this side. But can you see the difference between these flowers and this flower? I hope so. And let's just do the same over here. And I am not looking at perfection. Never am. Nope. Just getting a nice outline. So I wanted it to sit overnight, but then yesterday I had an appointment at the bank. I used to laugh at seeing all the gray-haired old people like myself going to the bank all the time. And I would go literally years without going inside of a bank branch. I'm just looking. I think I want to outline this like right here. Right where it's on top of the leaf. There we go. But I had an appointment with the bank, and then I went to the Goodwill, looked for stuff for mixed media. It didn't really come up with anything, but I did get a few bits of clothes for my grandsons, especially the 6-month-old. He's already in 12-month-old clothes. So I've got just a inker, and I am inking up the edge. It is not because I'm necessarily looking for a distressed look, which is fine, but the cardboard, it's that gray brown kind of color that it just looks like you freshly cut a piece of cardboard. So I just think it's these little touches that just give it, I don't know, more finished, just a more finished look. And I'm using the sepia, which is the same color that I used when I did the stamping. So I think that brings some continuity into the whole thing. All right, I hope you can see a difference. I definitely can, just in those 2 little steps. Now, I want to have a little saying on here. I wrote it down. I covered it up. Here we go. And the saying I've got is, if you are throwing dirt at someone, you are losing ground. And that's from Zig Ziglar. I didn't know who it was from. I saw it years ago, but it's always kind of stuck in my mind. So I want to kind of think about where I want this. So like if I put if you, and then maybe bring it down a little bit. If you are throwing, let's see how that goes. And then maybe dirt at someone. Then maybe here, you are losing ground. Yeah, I can see just by that little bit of orientation that I don't need to start too high up. And I'm going to do it in Sharpie, I think. Or I've got my white Poscas and I've got my black Poscas and I've got a Sharpie. So we'll see. I've got this. This is a Dilutions. I don't know if you can see it. It's a ruler that I use for all kinds of things, but one of the things I like to use it for is to make some wavy lines to write on. So that's what I want to do with this. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm just a plain old pencil like that. And then I don't want it to be all lined up. You know, I want it to look wavy-ish. Maybe like this. And this will erase off of the gel medium. Now, do I want to go over that leaf? I think so. And then maybe here. And let's just kind of see how, that's a big swoop here, but that's all right. And just see how it fits. I don't know. And I've got this because I lose track as I'm kind of writing. All right, do I want to use... Sharpie is the safest, in so much as I know what it's going to do. I know it's not going to show up a lot, but I think that's how I'm going to start. And I am just starting. I started it on a piece of paper. I'm grabbing another one. Oh, this one's juicier. Let's start with that one. And I recommend you do the same thing. That's navy blue. Check them out. You know what I mean? This one's black. Okay. So let's start with this one. And it's If You Are. I'm going to make my letters just a little bit further apart. And I'll get started and then I'll speed it up for you. Okay, I've got it all on there. I made a mistake. Here I put a different kind of E than the rest of them. I'm going to see if I can lift it up while it is still kind of wet. Let's see, this one. Oh boy, not really. Alcohol may do it. Hang on. Grabbed some alcohol. It's a prep pad. And I don't know that I want that much. So I'm just going to rub my Q-tip on this. And then away it goes. Nice. Now, I can see that it made kind of a weird space. I'm just kind of blurring it out a little bit. That's okay. It'll be fine. All right. If you're looking for some clever little sayings, go ahead and look up Zig Ziglar. And I will get his name on here when I'm done, or closer to when I'm done. All right, I'm going to be moving this around and stuff like that. Let's see. I would prefer a finer tip white if I can. I think this will work. I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to start outlining these letters. I think that you'll see that it really can make the letters shine. And again, I'm not looking for perfect. And also remember, this is for me. I'm not looking at something I want to put on Etsy. It's a saying that I like, and I just want it on my wall for a little while. Just a nice reminder. Okay, I think you get the idea. I'm going to speed it up. Okay, I got that all on there. I like the way it looks. Now I am going to wait a little bit to erase those marks that I did with the swirls because I want the Poscas to be good and dry. But I think you can get a good idea of something now. I'm just going to use white, and I'm going to put a little mark. Z, zig, Z, whoop. Julie, Julie, Julie. Z-I-G-L-A-R. Well, I think that's going to look nice hung up, don't you? Well, thank you for spending this afternoon with me or this morning with me. Give it a thumbs up if you found that it's helpful. I think we may just do another one like this real soon. Right down here is going to be a video picked out from you, but hang in there. There's going to be some pictures at the end.